What's going on?
I've been playing Agubond since it came out, and my goal has been with this game to make it the most meta relevant as we can, and one day, make it top tier. And Bt14 has definitely added a lot of support that is either gonna get me to my goal or get me closer to my goal. Without further ado, let's just get into the deck list. Start things off, we were running 4 of the Coromon from BT5. This has a when attacking inheritable. If you have a Greymon in name, you get to draw a card. It's just easy draw. Drawing cards in this deck is extremely important, so that's why we're going to run this Coromon. And last egg we're running is one of the Coromon from BT14. It just adds to that value of drawing a card. It just has the inheritable of when a card is removed from your opponent's security, you get to draw a card. And that's as simple as that. More drawing is better, especially early game. You want this deck as a combo deck. You want to get as much cards in your hand as you can early on so you can make your plays and do your big cool stuff. So on to the level 3s, we are running 4 of the new Agumon from BT14. If you don't know what this card does, this is going to be the staple in Greymon, just for the ever. Start of your main phase. If you have a Taikimi in the name, you get to Digivolve into a Greymon without paying the cost. And then it has the inheritable of when you have a Greymon or Omnimon in the name, you get plus 2,000. So it replaces the promo Agumon pretty much. It lets you Digivolve into Greymons for free. It's a really good card. And this deck relies on having your Tamer, your Taikimi is out anyway, so it doesn't stop you at any point. Your goal is to get the ties and get the Agumons. It all works out. That's what we're running out of 4 of. Next card we're running is for the Agumon from BT12. This is going to be your searcher of the deck. On play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. And then you're going to add 1 Greymon or Omnimon in his name and 1 Taikimiya in his name. And then you put the rest of the bottom of your deck. It has the inheritable of giving plus 1,000 to your Greymons and Omnimons all turns. This is just your way to search for your Tamers and search for your Greymons. Having this search and consistency is really important, and it's an Agumon, so, fits the criteria of Agubond. Next, we're running 2 of the Agumon from EX1. It has the one attacking effect of looking at the top 3 cards of your deck, adding 1 Agumon in name, and a Tamer, or a Tamer, I would say. So this helps you search for your Tamers because you need them, and also search for your Agumons, like your Bond, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, that's why we run that as 2 of. Next card we're running is Agumon X Antibody. It digivolves over Agumons for free, which is kind of why we're putting it in the deck. It has an on play and when digivolving effect of looking at the top 3 cards of your deck, adding 1 Greymon or Omnimon in its name, and 1 X Antibody. We're not running the X Antibody, so we're kind of just doing this for the and we're not running Omnimons, to be honest, so we're kind of just having this just to search for more Greymons. It's free search. It also adds in sources and makes your stack bigger, and it's helps with drawing. Like I said before, getting as many cards in your hand as quickly as possible is important to this deck because it's a toolboxy style deck, no pun intended. So that's why we're running that, and we're running it as a 2 of. Now we're going to get into the level 4s of the deck. We are running 4 of the Greymon from BT5. Has a when digivolving effect of if you have an Agumon in its sources, you get to gain a memory. And if you pair this up with the new Agumon that lets you digivolve into Greymons for free, you're just gaining a memory off of that. So it's either a 1 cost evo or free, and you're gaining a memory. It's just a really solid card, and it has the inheritable giving plus 2,000 DP, which comes up a lot. So you want to make your guys big, you want to be able to swing over things if you need to, all sorts of stuff like that, and this helps with that. It's a really solid card, and that's why we're running it at a 4 of. Next card we're running is 2 of the Greymon from the starter deck. So this card right here, first ever starter deck of the game, it's still useful. It just gives inheritable security tech plus 1. It's a Greymon and gives security tech plus 1. You're going to run it. It's just going to let you utilize those features and do more checks. Next, we're running 2. The Greymon from EX1 is just going to, it has the inheritable when attacking. You get to play a Taikimiya in its name, 3 cost or less. Most of the ties and all the ties we're playing in this deck are 3 cost or less, so you get to play Tamers out for free. This deck needs your Tamers out, so that's why you run that. And then last, we run 2 Greymon X Antibody. There's 2 reasons why we run this. 1, Digivolves over Greymons for free. It's a free draw. It lets you utilize the 4 inheritables a lot faster and relatively for free. And It has the inheritable of all turns. When this Digimon with Greymon or Omnimon in its name would be deleted, returned to hand or deck, you may trash 2 of the same level in its sources to prevent that from happening. That's why we run the X antibodies to add those sources. We run this. It plays in with the level 5s and 6s of the deck. It helps just if you need to keep something on board, you're able to do that. It doesn't prevent against like going to the top of security or DP minusing, but what can you do? It can't be perfect. So that's the level 4s of the deck. We're running 10. So on to the level 5s of the deck. We are running 4 of the new Skull Greymon from Bt14. It has one Digivolving effect. By trashing 1 card in your hand, you may delete one of your lowest level Digimon and one of your opponent's lowest level. So you trash a card, you get to delete him. If he's the lowest, you delete him. He has the on deletion of you may play an Agumon out from your trash without paying the cost. And then if you have the Tamer Takumi in its name, it gains rush for the turn, so allowing you to go into him, delete one of their bodies, delete your guy, play out an Agumon for free. It has rush, and you can swing with it if you need to, or do whatever you gotta do. It's a really solid card, and that's why we run it at 4 of. It just helps you control boards, especially bigger stacked decks. This helps you kind of keep them in check. Next, we are running 2 of the Skull Greymon from EX1. It's kind of the more not good, crappier version of the BT12 one. It has its pluses. It has security attack +1 just as is. End of attack, you delete this Digimon, and on deletion, you may play an Agumon from your trash suspended without paying its cost. So the other one lets you play an unsuspended Agumon. This one lets you play a suspended. Granted, they kind of do the same thing in that regards. This one's kind of more of the sword, and the other one's more of the shield. But yeah, we run that at 2 of because the other one's just better, but this one helps you progress and be aggressive for game. So that's why we want that at a 2 of. And then last but not least, we are running 2 Chimeramon. Reason being for this, Chimeramon has a lot of functions to it that are just solid. One, it can kind of go in any deck. As long as you have 2 level 4s, you can DNA Digivolve for free. It has a when Digivolving effect is you may play a 5 or lower from your trash and the bottom of this inheritable stack. And then for every color that it is, you minus the DP to 4 of your opponent's Digimon with that. Himself, he counts as he's white, and then all of his sources, whatever color is in his sources, he counts as those colors. And then if he has 4 more colors, he gains 4,000 DP and gets to be a 12k body, which is possible with this deck, but that's really fine tuning to do. But either way, you utilize him to control wider boards like Bloom, Lugumon, Commandramon. All these decks play out a lot of bodies wide, and this is what this deck has always had trouble with. It can do a lot of damage, but when they go wide, it can't really deal with that. So that's why this card's kind of added to counter that. If your meta has a lot, or your locals or whatever you're playing at has a lot more of those type of decks that go really wide, I'd recommend cutting down one of the EX1 Skull Greys and do 3. I've still been in testing which one I like better. For right now, I'm just keeping it a 2-2 split to see which one pulls its weight a little more. But yeah, it's easy for this deck to get 2 level 4s out at a cheap cost. So that's why you kind of run. So you can do that DNA. And even if you can't, just Digivolving for 4 to take out a wide board is still a solid move to do. And that is the level 5s of the deck. We run 8. Alright, next we are running, for the level 6s, we are running 3 level 6s, and this is them. The Secret Rare War Greymon from Bt14. It can Digivolve over a Greymon in name for 4 costs, so you don't have to worry. You can go over the Skull Greys if you need to. It also has this, if your opponent has a Digimon with 10,000 more DP, and you have a Takumi in name, you can Digivolve him, warp him from an Agumon, and then he has this one Digivolving effect of this Digimon gains raid, and then this Digimon may attack. It kind of is like off-brand Blitz. You can still pass turn and still use this effect. It's like the Wish.com of Blitzes. And then it has a when attacking effect if you have a Tamer, which is not specific to Tide, just a Tamer. You're able, this Digimon gains security type +1 and piercing. So when you Digivolve, you gain raid, and then you have piercing and security type +1. So you're able to swing and take out kind of whatever you need. Last but not least, the name of the deck, Bond. We're running 2 of the Agubond. It has a when attacking effect of if you have a Tamer in play, you may delete one of your opponent's 13,000 or less DP. And then when your opponent's Digimon is deleted, you trash the top card of their security. I always looked at this deck as with Bond, your opponent only has 4 security. So as long as they have a body on board and they got 1 security left, you're going to win game. You got the 3 memory to Digivolve into him. Now we're getting into the option cards of the deck. That's all the Digimon. Is Crimson Blaze. It's a 6-cost option card. It has the main effect of your opponent can't play Digimon by effect and delete all your opponent's Digimon 6,000 or less. It has this also reduce the memory cost for however many Digimon your opponent has on field. So you can, in a way, make this. It could be a free card depending on how wide their board goes. Yeah, this deck's always had trouble with wide boards, and this meta in this set specifically, Commandramon, Lugomon, and Bloomlord all play cards by effect, and they're all lower DP. So it kind of fits into this threshold of the Crimson Blaze. That's why you kind of want to run this. I run it at 3 of. I thought about bumping up to 4. Haven't found the room for it. 3 is pretty good. I see it enough. I draw a lot of cards with this deck. But you need that to be able to compete with those style of decks. Last but not least, we're running 2 of the Mega Flame from Bt14. It's a 4-cost option card. Delete one of your opponent's 6,000 or less DP. And if you have Digimon with Greymon in its name, you delete the lowest level or the lowest DP instead. So the Skull Greymon deletes lowest level. This one deletes lowest DP. You can pick if they're all the same DP. You can, with the ace cards out now, you can technically make this a 1-cost option card. It's just a really solid card. It just helps you control board and delete things that you need to get deleted. So that's why we're going to run that. And it's just being a 4-cost to be able to do all that is solid. It's easy to have a Greymon on field. Now we're going to get into the Tamers of the deck. These guys are what carry this deck and make it the way it is. We're running 4 of the Tai Kamiya from Bt6. This is the Agubond Tai. It's a 3-cost. Your turn, when an Agumon or Greymon in its name moves out from the breeding area, you get to gain a memory and draw a card. Then it has a main effect of once per turn, you may Digivolve your Agumon into an Agumon Bond of Bravery from your hand, paying the Digi-Evolution cost, ignoring the level. If you do, trash the top 2 cards of your security. Then, if you have 1 or more security, delete that Digimon at the end of the turn. So he allows you to go into Bond, warp Digivolve from your level 6. That's why you kind of need it. I run it at 4 because you need it at a 4. And we'll get into that more a little bit down the line with the other Tamers of the deck. But yeah, gaining memory, drawing cards, and being able to warp Digivolve is important. And it's a 3-cost, so the Greymon can play it. Next, we're running 2 of the Bt12 Tai. This one's 3 costs as well. On play and start of your main phase, one of your Digimon with Agumon or Greymon in its name gets 1,000 DP and blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. I noticed and it also has a your turn when your Digimon would Digivolve into a Greymon or Omnimon in its name, you can suspend this to gain a memory. What I've noticed with this deck is you delete your level 5s, kind of all delete themselves in a way, so it's kind of hard to keep the blocking effect up. So I would rather have more of the promoting out of raising and gaining memory and drawing cards. This is still a really good card if you need a blocker in a pinch. That's why I run it at 2. It's a 3-cost tie, so it fits the criteria of the Greymon. It's a really good card. I had this at a 3-3 split, and I just noticed I kept deleting my own blockers. So I was like, what's the point of this? So I'm just going to cut it down to 2, and we'll see how it works. And so far, I've liked how it's running. Next Tamer, we run 2 Analog Youth. 2 play costs, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon card among them, trash the rest. And then when one of your level 5 or higher Digimon is deleted and it has Digi-Evolution sources, you may suspend this Tamer, and if you do, you gain a memory and you get to hatch out of your breeding area. This kind of just allows you to, you're deleting your own Skull Greymons. This is going to allow you to hatch again, so Digivolve into Agumon. So next turn, you're kind of keeping that constant pressure of coming out of your raising area. And it's also an all turn, so if they delete it on their turn, you can suspend it to gain a memory, possibly pass turn, all sorts of stuff. It's a really good card. That's why I run it at 2. I tried it higher, but then I ended up just trashing too many cards, and I didn't like that, so that's why, I cut it down to 2. But right here, this is the card. This is the Tamer that really took this deck I didn't even think it was going to be great with this deck, but I love how this card works. And we are running through 2 of the Louis. So Louis is a promo card from the new Digimon movie. On play, you may move one of your level 3 or higher Digimon from your breeding area into the battle area. Then, when one of your Digimon moves from the breeding area to the battle area, you suspend this to gain a memory. So technically making him a 2 cost, as long as you have something in your raising, you can make him a 2 cost. Okay, so why this is great is you pair this up with the tie, okay? So the tie says when one of your Digimon with Agumon or Grandmon's name moves from the breeding area, you gain a memory and draw a card. It's not specific to once per turn. So you can, theoretically, if you have 2 ties out on field, promote, you gain the 2 memory, you go to 3, okay? You do everything you need to do. Say you have Analog Youth as well. You get another hatch, okay? You get them down to no security. They think you can't. They got another turn to survive. You drop down this Louis. You suspend the Louis. You gain the 2 memory from the 2 ties. You go back up to 3. You're able to swing again for game. He is like the hybrid for game. It's funny how I have 2 cards in this deck I kind of consider like the hybrid for game, and Louis just helps out a lot. It's ironic too that this is a promo card from the second movie that's a sequel to the one this card's from. I thought that was interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much the deck list. So if you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And yeah, I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Hopefully not in like 4 weeks. Peace.